Inviting me. It's good to be with you all. Um, Patience today. Patience. We'll
Oh
talk about
no.
that in a minute. But when you're in tune, things happen real fast. That instant karma, for good or for bad, and we have to accept them all. It's all good. It really is. I'm just having some fun with you right now to tie this in and make sure you can hear me and make sure we all look good. So you said there's about 12 people there with you? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, so I'm Nayaswami Premdas, me Premdas. I'm here at Ananda Village. I'm up in the Sangha building, for those of you who know the location, right across from Hansa Temple. I can see it out my window right now. We're having major storms here in California. It's wonderful. More rain, lots of fun. Yeah. So, a little bit about myself. I came to Ananda back in the early 90s. I literally came to Ananda Village to the yoga teacher program at the time. And I never did karma yoga, but I made up for that over the years. I've served as a yoga instructor out in the Monterey Bay area, south of San Francisco, for those of you who don't know the area, along the coast. And tried to start I did start a meditation group. Now, many years later, it finally morphed into something that we had wanted. It's the Monterey Bay group. Some of you may know of them. They do podcast, they do videos and services online. I wanted more, and I wanted Sangha. I wanted not to lead, which I had to, and I enjoyed that, and I wanted to be a minister. Uh, I was an acting minister. I was one of the first people who, there were a group of us. I think Supriya was probably one of them too. I'm not sure about the Smithheislers, but anyway, a few of us at one time were approached to be acting ministers, which when I asked for a definition meant we'll do everything you think a minister should do, we'll support you, but you're not legally one. So, in other words, you can get us into trouble kind of, but legally we're protected. Anyway, um, I got very, very ill on my path down in Monterey, and my dear friends in Palo Alto were visiting. We were doing a kirtan on the beach in Monterey, and they saw that I wasn't well, and I was invited to um, be taken care of over in Palo Alto for a week or two. It was over the holidays around Christmas time. And that turned into about 3 months of staying in. Those of you who know Tom Cerusi was kind of my de facto brother sponsor. He took care of me for about 3 months as I recovered. And I was living in Palo Alto, and they said, "Why don't you just move here?" And I said, "Oh, I can't do that. I can't do that. I'm not worthy. I can't move to this community." You know, um, within a few months, I was working at East West Bookshop and helped manage the floor operations for a time there, as well as special events. And during that time, when I had decided I was going to be a monk and just live very simply because I wasn't worthy, I did, I found myself involved with a wonderful friend who became my wife, Giovanni, and we were married within a year, remarkably so. I never saw that coming. Frankly, I don't think she did, but she was a very effective manifester of things, and she was praying to Master using his prayer for relationships. That quickly evolved. It really did. I didn't see it coming. We'll be married 25 years in a few months. It's amazing how time has gone by. I mention this because in those 25 years, my spiritual bucket list has kind of been filled. I'm quite content right now. I don't know what's in the future, but I know that being patient with God, as I've learned to do, has really helped. In my time with Ananda, I got involved with the music in the choir. I was fortunate or unfortunate to be a bass, which means I thought I knew all the songs, and I had, but I all of a sudden had to learn completely different notes. And when I started doing that, I was asked to go to Italy to be in our choir back in 2000 during the Jubilee year, the 2000 year celebration of Christ, and got to travel with Swami and about 65 70 others from around the world, mostly from California, though throughout the United States. We stayed there for a month, and my wife was with me. She was a major player in Silicon Valley at that time with a major company. And we had the wherewithal. I didn't financially, but with my new relationship, God, seek ye first the kingdom of God and all these things, including a trip to Italy.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, so for a month in Italy, we traveled around. And on 3 nights before we were supposed to get back on the airplane, Swami came around. In fact, over my shoulder, you can see some pictures on the wall. And let me see if I can just raise this a little bit. You can see Swami behind myself and Giovanni. That's in 2000 in Assisi. And he came over to thank the group that had come. And this was our last night in Assisi. The next morning, we were traveling to Rome to sing for 2 days, travel, tour, and get on the airplane, come back. And I was disheartened. I'm Italian American, and I was in an area that was really close to where my relatives came from. And I wanted to spend more time there, but I also wanted to be near Swami, and I wanted to be in the energy of St. Francis. So, and I'm a chef by training. Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
We lost connection for quite a few seconds there.
Okay, where
So
did I leave off?
you were saying about over my shoulder, I see the
Oh,
pictures on the wall.
over my shoulder is a picture
Yeah.
of Swami and myself and my wife. And at that moment, with 2 days to go before we came back, I had told Giovanni I'd really love to stay here. And she said, well, pray to Master. And I said, well, I have been. And Swami is leaning on me at that time, and he's got both hands on me in a few seconds after that. And he's not giving me energy intentionally, consciously, but I look at Giovanni at that moment, and Durga happened to be there taking the picture. And I said, something's going to happen. I know spiritual paths. I've been involved with spirituality for a long time. And with Swami's there, I said, something's going to happen. Something's going to break loose. I went to the bathroom. I came back. Peter McDowell, now known as Kabir, leaned over and said, your wife says you can cook. What's your experience? And I said, well, I've done this in major hotels. I've run restaurants, and I'm a chef. And he goes, any chance you could help us out here? Our chef is ill, and the season starts in like 3 weeks. He said, you think you could come back here? And I said, why should I leave? So I went to Rome and sang the oratorio for 2 more days, traveled and saw Rome, uh, went to the airport, said goodbye to my bride and all of the Ananda people, and I got on a train and got back to Assisi on my own, and my journey stayed in Italy for about a year. Some of you I met there too when I was there. That was 24 years ago. Um, when I got done with that, Giovanni had joined me at that point. She'd quit her job and shocked the heck out of me, but and she was making more than many figures at that time, and especially for an Ananda devotee, we were living well. So she quit because she couldn't take it anymore and wanted to be a cook with me. Well, uh, first year marriage. I'm used to running a kitchen. My wife is a very strong woman. She thought she and just be like a house mom in the kitchen and run things. And we had to grow very fast over those few more months when she joined me. But we got to finish up a year there. And when we came back, we were moving to Palo Alto. And Jyotish and Davy and others said, why don't you move to the village? So we spent one night in Palo Alto, and we literally moved up the village in 2000. And within the year, I was asked to manage and help, and then finally take responsibility for our kitchen and events through the dining room and that, and the expanding light. And my wife, shortly thereafter, was actually asked to be the general manager. There's some other remarkable stories, but anyway, that's how I got here. And then I ran the kitchen for 10 years. At the end of 10 years, my body, I just was tired I was in the service industry my whole life, pretty much. And I was then asked to come to the Crystal Clarity and the Sangha office to help do outreach. And very shortly, they said, why don't you teach? Davey said, you should be teaching. So that was the start of the old way of doing it through the books and through the lessons. So I've seen all the progression from about the year 2000 on, but specifically in this office, this little place I'm in now. Um, I've been here since 2010 in this room. They let me out, but I've been very active with both in-person and online teaching. That's how I got here, and that's how I've met many of you through the Expanding Light over the years, but then also um, here. So I kind of have become, and I call myself this, and other people have a little bit too, the cosmic concierge for our teaching, in that I try to meet people where they're at or when they come through, and so most of the time it's with us, and I help them understand how to go through what we have or how to get what they need. But sometimes it even means sending them to other teachers and other teachings. But my job is to be a divine friend. Voila, that's what I do. I try to live as a divine friend to others, and I try to see the divine friend in everyone, in everything. That's kind of my dharma, is to remember and to iron out and to remove all the vrittis that are keeping me from remembering that my neighbor, who can be a pain in the neck when it comes to raking and messing up our yard, is still a divine child, and he's God speaking to me in many ways. So that's kind of my path. So how did I get here today? Well, I was asked by a few of you to join you, and I'm delighted. And the subject matter, specifically on patience, caused me to introspect. And the good news is, when I introspected, is I felt divine love. I felt God's presence when I was asked to do this. And so I said yes. And it made me think, okay, how can I love you more, Spirit? Master, how can I love you as the conduit for God, for Divine Mother, for however we want to define spirit? And I thought of Master when the story is a devotee kept asking him, yeah,
We had a cutout again.
ah,
We're
We're just having
sorry.
problems today for
This
some
is
reason, so
Not typical.
okay,
This is
where did we
patient.
leave off?
you're just beginning to go for it.
This is
Okay,
got here today, and boom.
and so patience made me contemplate. Patience made me contemplate um, where I am on the spectrum of really having patience. And I realized I've got some work to do, but here's the wonderful thing about Master and about our teachings, and why I love Yogananda and why he's my guru, and why these teachings, I think, are universal, but I respect everybody on their path and how they find spirit. I think spirit comes to us as we need him, her, it. It doesn't matter if you can use Yogananda, he is there. I think Swami said it best. I'm going to just read something. We are part of a great tide of loving, joyful energy that wants to give and give as long as people are willing to receive it. That to me is the essence, in a very nice way, of Master's teaching, which ultimately to me comes down to two words, and that's divine friendship. To me, God is our divine friend. And anything less is, in my way of thinking and living and expressing, and I don't live up to this all the time, but this is what I try to do. Anything less is taking the name of God in vain. Jesus wasn't referring to cursing when the Bible quotes him as saying that. He was saying, you don't understand the power of God. If you think God is anything less than omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent, then you got more work to do. But hey, kids, let's have some fun. Our Father created us. Your guru I'm sending you, Yogananda, is going to tell you life is joy. And if we can remember and hold on to joy and associate our path with joy, then we've got a leg up. Then we've got a chance to get through this. And, patience to me is suggesting that we have to wait for something. But what did Master say? Back to the point. Master was asked, when will I have God? When will I know God? And what was his answer? Anybody want to shout it out?
You have him already.
You have him. You have him. And I believe the story goes that the person kept asking, and finally Yogananda sent him out. Okay, so we have them, but it's one thing to insist on that and to repeat that. But what did Master do that was different, and why? It's not that we're special and we're better than, but why shouldn't we take advantage of the great karma? And Master, what did Master say? And Swami said it many, many times. I use this in every class I ever do. I remind the students, especially the newer ones, that just being here means you have what?
Very, very, very good karma.
And if you were around Swami, he would almost scream that. And he would start very, 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 very good karma. We're supposed to have fun. This is supposed to be a journey of joy. So yes, what did Yogananda bring to help us understand the ultimate fact of almost every, the depth of any religion of spiritual teaching? Tatwam asi, you are that. Boom. Okay, you got it. But you may not get it, but you got it. It's there. You have God. Now, how do we get busy, as Yogananda said, get busy with knowing God? I didn't see the whole crowd, but I would guess most of us are in the range of 50 or above, with a couple of you lower in age. Okay, right? Okay, I don't mind, age when it's appropriate. And all I can tell you is most of us are in the second half of our earthly existence in this lifetime. Get busy with God now. This is our great karma, is to have this teaching. Master came from the Vedic tradition, but came to bring us the unity of Christianity and Hinduism, but the very highest aspects of it. And with all respect to Jesus, who I love and is a guru for me, and I mean this just to kind of shake us up a little bit, what we recorded of Jesus' life is so elementary and so basic in his teachings. I would imagine he would be crying a little bit to think, you mean that's all they got? Be nice to your neighbor? I mean, I'm sure he gave techniques and he gave lessons and he gave people what they needed. And yes, over the years, over 2,000 years, as Master said, they crucified Jesus on the cross 2,000 years ago, but they've crucified his teachings ever since. Now, those elements that are important for us have come through, and Master has helped us understand the role of the Christ consciousness and Jesus' role. And Babaji, Lahiri Mahashaya, Sri Yukteswar, all magnified this. The fact that God is love. But how do we live it? How do we know it? Master gave us very succinct ways of doing this. You can read forever the stories of his life. You can read forever the many, many books, the recordings of many of his talks. Remember, most of these talks weren't meant for everyone. They were meant specifically for the audiences he talked to. So he talked on a variety of subjects that were appropriate for the people of their time. But in doing so, he established for us how we can live. And if you need to know how to find God through making money, you can do that. If you need to find out how to change a behavior, you can find his readings and tune into him as your guru to help you on this path. But what did he do? What's his main legacy, in my opinion? Bringing that understanding of divine friendship, yes, But what does that really mean? So the Hori Vedas and many other traditions, but especially the Vedas, talk about the fact that you are that. What is that? That is God. What is God? He said God is Satchitananda. Basically, loosely translated, it's existence. Are we still here?
Very brief check out, but we came back in. You
Okay.
just used that word, whatever it was, the what Veda?
From the Hori Vedas, Hoary, the Hori Vedas, the mysterious Vedas. Am I here? You're frozen. Hello? 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 Okay, we're here? Okay. Ananda
From
Dallas, I've got
Vedas.
you. I've got you on two, so something's going on here. You can
Yeah.
hear me?
Yes.
The Vedas could be very mysterious and foreign, especially to where he had to plant the seeds for the future world transmission of this teaching. But he said, yes, God is Satchitananda, conscious existence, consciousness, and bliss. Even that's esoteric. It's not practical.
No, we're here.
Patience. I'm getting a notice saying you're not. So there you go.
Oh,
Something's
yeah, we're
going on.
here.
Okay, so existence, consciousness, and bliss, Satchit Ananda, loosely translated. Yogananda came, and even for those who were familiar with a little bit of Hinduism, made it very simple. What did he call God? Ever new joy. That's your litmus test to find out if you are doing the right thing in your life. Are you experiencing ever new joy? Not only that, if you need more definition, how did he define that joy? With 7 other aspects. There's 8 aspects that we talk about and share, and I make sure every student who comes through me remembers the importance of these. They're not just symbols, they're not just good feelings. They are, but okay, ever new joy, right? Okay, ever new wisdom, omnipotent, omnipresence, vibration, sound. I don't know if you've noticed. Do you see what these are? I don't know if you've seen one of our devotees who I coached made these and has sent them around the world to different people. It's from one limb and then sliced and painted.
Oh my.
It's all one. You can mix and match. And this means that love and light are the same. They're from the same source. They can be interchanged. So love, light, sound, wisdom. She also put them in a neat little package for me. And calmness and power and peace. So these 8 aspects, if you're wondering, are you full of joy? Do you have enough joy? Well, you can ask yourself, am I calm? If you're not calm, if you can still be excited and outward, as Master said, but are you calm underneath? So real joy has to be calm. Real joy has to be wise. Real joy has to be love. Real love has to be full of wisdom. Real love has to have a vibration. Real love has to have, etc. So you can play these with each other in your mind or on a piece of paper, in your thoughts, and check yourself out with this. Am I doing the best I can? And if you aren't doing the best you can, I'm going to quote Sister Gyanamata here. She said, I am spirit. What is this trifle to me? This thought gives both peace and power. I am calmness. I am power. I am peace. I am wisdom. I am love. I am joy, etc. What these obstacles are just momentary in my consciousness. God and Guru, I'm calling on you. You made me. Now you got to get me out of this. You got to bring me more calmness. You've got to give me more joy. What did Master say about talking to God? He said, you can yell at her. You can yell at her. It's okay. She can take it. Well, with
Mhm.
humility and with humility as her child, you have every right to call on Divine Mother when she gives you toys, to throw them back at her and say, I don't want your toys. I want you. And that's what I'm asking for when I feel that I am out of tune or I'm not quite on the same wavelength as what I'm being asked to do. Does that make sense? Okay, so who are you? You are that. What is that? You are love, light, joy, peace, power, light, love. That's who we are. So here's the thing. We're dealing in duality and non-duality. We're dealing in unity and what seems to be disunity. We're dealing in what spirit tells us is real, and we're dealing with Maya. Okay, good news. Master came to help us in the Maya. We might be on this little mud ball, as Swami calls it, but we still have God. We have that ray of the one light. We have light all around us, but we have a specific ray we can tune into that has come for each and every one of us. We have a personal relationship with Spirit, just what the Chosen is about. Each one of us has that. And we're amiss, we sin, we miss the mark. There's no moral thing on the sinning here. We miss the mark when we pull our energy back and we miss the target. It doesn't mean we're bad. It doesn't mean we're not worthy. This is my issue. It doesn't mean that you're a sinner. It's a sin to say you're a sinner. You have just missed the mark. You try again. Banat, banat, banjai. Trying, eventually succeeding. Master promised that all of us, the greater the will, the greater the flow of energy, the greater the flow of energy, very practical. We can learn this in our own feeling nature. The greater the magnetism, the greater we can manifest and experience that kingdom of God that is not without. Yes, it is without, but it's also within. So in the middle of this Maya duality, Master has come and, if I can say so, in the last 12 minutes or so, has given us, I've tried to make it even shorter for you, Master condensed all this. And Swami, as a great disciple who didn't want the acclaim for himself, he didn't even want the acclaim for Master. He just wanted to give what Master brought. Swami gave us the example of how we can live in this duality as a lover of God through the use of having a guru. Am I patient? Well, I'm hungry. Am I patient? Well, I can insist. I can argue. Master argued with God. He said that's the way to deal with God. You say, God, look, you got us into this. You created all this suffering. Why do you hurt these people so much? But what did Master say about questions like that? He said, these answers will come. You will know. I always thought this was a mystery. You will know when you will know God. So get busy with our knowing. And what our knowing is being in the moment every day of your life. Every moment you're conscious. I'm not saying beat yourself up and, oh, I'm not doing this, but whenever you can remember to chant the name of God, to say thank you, God, to say God and Guru are with me. God in me, is me, as my friends in religious science taught me to say years and years ago. Or I like to say, there's not a spot where God is not. When I'm having a problem, I reach back into my pocket and I pull up a talisman that I know it's just a talisman. I know it's a symbol. I could lose it and I would be a little poor for it, but I have a locket of Master's hair I carry with me everywhere. Ever since I got it in 1993, I've had this usually on my body. And I hold on to this as a reminder of the joy I had when I received it, but also of the message I received from my guru through his disciple Durga Mata, through her follower who I got to meet in the most unusual place at the most unusual time, but it was when my soul was calling out to Master saying, if I could only have you in body. Well, I've got his DNA in here. And it's just one of those little things, but I do whatever I can for my personality, for my karma, to remind me that, as Swami would say, I live protected in God's infinite light so long as I remain in the heart of it. In other words, as long as I am in the center of it, center everywhere, circumference nowhere, as long as I can feel it, nothing and no one can harm me. That was from Swami in one of our affirmations. Again, what did Sister Gyanamata say? I am spirit. What is this trifle to me? I'm not going to let anything get in the way. This thought gives both peace and power. See, so she also took two of those aspects right there, peace and power, to verify and strengthen and affirm. So we're all Arjuna on that battlefield in the Bhagavad Gita. We're all in the middle of thinking and contemplating, and we have Krishna, we have Yogananda as Krishna for us, guiding us if we want him to. And I have to come up with this debacle every time I work with new students, but he's not in body. It's his consciousness. It's that eternal consciousness that you are a part of, that you are that. Whether the physical body goes on, whether our astral body goes on, right now, all I know is in my life, I have to concentrate on what Spirit has given me, and that is a great teaching, a great guru, and to remember that I am blessed, I am that joy, I am that love, I am that, and it makes life so exciting. And it doesn't mean you don't have your problems, doesn't mean health issues don't come up, that relationship issues don't come up, but you get to work them out. And can you be patient in the middle of working it out? Can you be in duality and hold on to unity? Can I affirm when if we have relationships, I'm just going to use my wife here for this. This is an example, okay? But I'm not going to, if we get into a quibble, a fight, an argument, part of me reaches in towards my pocket, and inwardly I'm going, Om Guru, Om Guru. What did I do to screw this up? What could I do to change it? Maybe this is her stuff. All these different thoughts, but ultimately, we're both lovers of you. Help us out here. And that gets us more quickly. Over the 25 years I've learned this. It gets us out of that debacle more quickly. And we've become so much closer over the years. She probably doesn't even know I do that, but that's what I do. If I think there's going to be tension in my life anywhere, I hold on to Master. Sometimes literally in my pocket, sometimes just going, you're with me. I had a situation where I had to be somewhere and I had to do some mechanical work to get there. And the mechanism wasn't working. And everything depended on me getting that going and having a lot of other people involved with me when we got to a place. And it wasn't working. My car wouldn't start. It was a couple things that were wrong. But I just went, I don't have time for this. I love you. I've done everything right. You can't hold me back. I know this hasn't worked for the last half a day, but I need this to be fixed. I don't know how. And I sat for 10 minutes in meditation and prayer, and I went, okay, that's it. And I started yelling. Nobody I think was around. I started yelling, God, you got to get me out of this. This is just the way it is. I need this. This is all about getting my energy up. This has to be fixed. I turned the key, boom, everything worked. The transmission all of a sudden that I thought was broken wasn't. I mean, I was stuck. I couldn't go anywhere, and I had to haul some things for people and meet people. Anyway, it was a mess. It all worked out. Haven't had a problem since. I've had the car checked. No problem. You can't find anything. But whatever it was, it made me raise my energy to speak to Spirit. I think that's where Master was when he accomplishing. That's where Jesus was. That's where any master has to be. They may not have to do it outwardly, but they know how to go inward and upward. They can take and get away from any tamas. They can get away and even use rajas, but they bring it inward and use the spine, use their kriya technique, use their attunement, use their devotion and energy. So that's what I've learned over time, and I've had to be patient with that. I'm going to bring it back to this concept of patience. But patience doesn't mean you just hang in there because it'll never happen. Patience means having faith. And we have to go on until, what did Master say about the spiritual path? You go on until you achieve endlessness. Okay, that's a concept I can absorb, but whether I can actually understand it, I just know that Master also called this work at one point unlimited possibilities. SRF, I think to this day, still has a handout. I don't know if they really do, but they had for many years. It was a pamphlet you got when you went to their properties. And on the outside, it said unlimited possibilities. And I love that. That's kind of my modus operandi. That's what I do. Unlimited possibilities. Let's see what's going to happen today. I put myself out there. I do my best. Let's see what happens. Maybe I just rest at home. Maybe I watch a movie. But maybe I also pick up the phone when somebody calls or get an email and it says, "Hey, could you help us out? We don't have a minister on Sunday." And I say, "Yes, thank you, Master." So thank you all. And I guess we're going to open up for some questions and answers if you'd like. Or anything you'd like to talk about.
Yes, we are. And yes, I want to say Premdas did step up in less than a week notice. Thank you very, very much. You've really given us a lot to think about. We do have a microphone in here for people who might want to come to the microphone and ask a question or comment to Premdas. People online, you can open your cameras, unmute yourself now and ask a question or put it in the chat box. So we got lots of different ways. Who wants to interact?
If you don't want to step up to the mic up front and be on camera and everything, I have another mic back here, so just raise your hand and I'll bring it to you.
And it's just us, though. It's not, we're not on Facebook or anything,
No.
so just know, it's just us chickens here. So, anybody got?
Comments, questions? This is unusual.
I'm patient.
Now it's coming up.
Sure.
Oh.
Hello.
I want to ask if you were going to like lay on the couch and watch a movie today rather than come online with us.
Well, actually, if I were going to, I shouldn't tell you because we have Sunday service in 15 minutes here.
I happen to know that.
But actually, I had another thing came up where just this week someone wrote me our Fresno group, and a few of the people, 3 of the members who I know very well are here for seclusion. They're going to start today with a visit to the tulips, which are in bloom even in the rain, and then I'm going to meet them for lunch. So that's Jackie Dominion and Carol and a few others who some of you know. So I'll be seeing them at service and after lunch. But I'm good on my time. Don't worry. Good.
Okay.
I have a question about the tulips.
Yeah.
So you had a lot of rain. I was wondering how that affected them. But also, do you think they'll still be happening in early May, or is it just usually April?
No, it usually goes. It usually goes. I mean, we can't guarantee anything, but
Yeah.
they've intentionally, they're planted in succession. There's Netri here, Nancy Mayer has planned, and Balarama and others, they plan on having certain ones come up at certain times. So that extends it. And frankly, every year, for better or for worse for our community, these things get extended, sometimes up to 2 or 3 weeks.
So
People are more important than things, yeah.
It might be there through the first week or 2 of May, you think? Oh, okay. Because
I
there's
can't guarantee it, but yeah.
Right. There's a community member who I'm trying to encourage. He's going to be in Sacramento, and he's a potential Kriya. He's sort of on that path, and he visited Ananda like 20 years ago, but he hasn't been there since then. I'm trying to encourage. You're in Sacramento. You got to drive up on Sunday and just see the tulips. You can take your mom. His mom is in Sacramento. And so I was just curious because I wasn't sure if it still went on. So I'll tell him about that too.
Yeah. You can always call and find out too. You can call any of us. We can ask, but if you call the Crystal Hermitage directly, they're on top of that. That's what they do right now for the 2 months. Yeah.
Well, I might put him in touch with you because you seem like you were a good person for him to connect with. If I can get him to go, I'm sort of hoping he will, but I don't know.
I'll send you my Cosmic Concierge card, and you can.
Yeah. You sound like a perfect person.
Yeah. And I want to, while we're still waiting, if anybody has a question, please get up. We're kind of just shooting let me just finish this one thought if I may. So on the tulips, if you Google tulips watch, it will bring you every day, I believe it's Sanjan, post about a 30-second visual video of what's happening. And he'll tell you, we have about 5,000 tulips today.
Wow.
And there's 20,000 planted. We know that. So it's really fun. I watch it most days just to see, and it's absolutely gorgeous.
Oh.
Tulips watch in the Google, and it'll, yeah.
And those of you who know Om Prakash, I saw yesterday, he's the daily counter. He counts every day the number of tulips that are blossomed, approximately, right? Wow, that's a lot. I mean, that's a lot.
That's quite a focused undertaking every day. Wow, good. Yeah. Anyway, I think Mallory has something to comment or say. You want to come to the microphone?
Yeah.
She's not shy.
That's good for you.
Hi, thank you for being here and talking.
You're welcome. Nice.
I had trouble when I first heard this reading the Bhagavad Gita part where it says, this self is never born, nor does it perish. But then I see it's the capital S self.
Right.
This self is never born, does it perish. Once existing, it cannot ever cease to be. It is birthless, eternal, changeless, ever itself. It is not slain when the body is slain. But that's the God. God is never born. And the little self is the separate egos. Is that correct?
Okay. So did you have a question though on that? Go ahead, you can. What's the resistance? What are you feeling? What's the conundrum? What's the situation? What drew you to that?
I'll do a question.
Okay, so it sounds like Mallory actually figured.
Good. Well, we're frozen for a second. Okay. Hello. We're frozen. Hello. Okay, I'm waiting. Connecting to audio. Okay, here we are.
We are
Just
back.
came back. Maitri, in answering, hi Premdas, in asking the question, it was totally resolved. So they said for me to come up next.
Well, good. Okay.
There's this thing called the social engagement system. It's like there's this theory in yoga therapy about polyvagal theory by Stephen Porges. And what they've discovered is that the connection between the brain and the heart and higher chakras is only present in mammals, no other animals. There's the dorsal vagal, which is below the, down in the abdomen, but then the heart and above the ventral vagal, it's only in human beings, and they're relating social engagement to this, that only mammals really have this social engagement. And what occurred to me about this social engagement system is the ultimate social engagement is unity with spirit. So even though we all are communicating with each other and loving each other on this human plane, that the ultimate connection that each of us has for social engagement is with spirit, and that this feeling of support in all the 8 aspects of the divine that we have, like you mentioned, the peace and the calm and everything, is that feeling of support is given to us just in meditation. We can just feel that, we can perceive it ever more profoundly as we meditate, and that therefore we should. Where's that coming from? It's coming from Yogananda and the masters, but all of us involved in this higher consciousness of social engagement can be part of that giving to everyone and play our part of at least in meditation, at least being willing, being open to supporting everyone, every soul, past, present, and future, every soul now, and everybody that we know at our highest possible level. And people can create their own visualizations for this. And so I just thought I'd bring up about every time in meditation, since I learned about this, I just bring in this social engagement system, which is just a word, but it helps me to explain something that the people they're studying the nervous system are catching up and understand where we're coming from like Mallory realized the higher self is what that message was. And so I just make.
Can we get an amen? Can we get a big amen here?
And I want to touch base with you personally as a concierge. So I'll probably get a phone number from somebody.
Cosmic concierge.
Cosmic, yeah, that's right. That's even better.
530 Cosmic Style it.
Is it really true?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Thank you.
Thank you for being with us today. It was wonderful for everybody, I'm
Absolutely.
sure.
You're welcome.
Is there something in the comment there I see, Mark, or is that something else?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Anybody else? Oh, here's Francisco's coming up. He's our under 50 here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Under 50.
Thank goodness.
My wife is Jocelyn. We live in Hawaii, and she took initiation with you. And Ashini is or minister.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Welcome. Good to see you.
Let's see. You talk about how to find God through our daily activities, through work, through seeking money, through taking care of my family.
Yeah.
Could you elaborate a little more on how during the day we can do that?
Right. So I like to remember that Yogananda called the path self-realization. So whenever I feel that in any circumstance that I think of someone as other, I get to affirm that they're not, that it's all one, that God is speaking to me through them. And when I have occurrences that seem discordant or difficult, I try to employ the God in me to both be compassionate and understanding and patient, because I realize not just that they're the problem, but both of us are trying, maybe not trying, but both of us are putting out a frequency that's not communicating, but both are putting out spiritual communication. Maybe on one level it may be lower vibration, but it's still God. It's still God coming through. God is even in the reptile that's sitting outside my window, in terms of the lizard. And it may not have the upper nervous system like we do, but it still is God, and it talks to me. The tree has a different system, but I see and I remind myself, I affirm that God is in the tree. So I practice this. I have a Swami friend from another tradition. Whenever he comes to Ananda, when we go for walks, he has to stop and hug the trees and tell them that he loves them. And I love that. That's so good. I mean, we can think that that's strange and cute, and it is, but in reality, he's right. Even the lesson today, one of the lessons about Master reminding people that in the tree, when they're moving the tree, that there's life force. That's worthy of honor, and it's a kind of a more and more tradition in me, and trying to bless and receive the blessings from all of my experiences. I talk to the birds, I talk to the big ones, the small ones, I talk to the little animals, and I just have a relationship with them. I'm fortunate here in the community. I get to experience all that, but I also make sure I do this with our friends and people, you know? So anyway, that's how I do it. I don't miss an opportunity. I am very fortunate to be where I am, but each one of us is fortunate and appropriately where they need to be right now. So if you're a parent, see God in your child. If you're a husband, see your wife as God. As a Nayaswami, even though I took a monastic vow, part of that vow is if you're married, to see your spouse as an aspect of God, as a gift. So I need to see God in her, even when she forgets. And trust me, I forget that God's in me too. So, she has to remember too sometimes about me. It goes both ways. And the more you do that, the more you become saint-like. Whether you're married or single, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You become, the word is sojourn, I believe, has to do with walking with the saints. And that's what we do. We're walking with the saints. Please give my best to your wife, okay?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Anyone online? Who's online? Open cameras. I'm squinting to see who's
We
online.
can't really see.
I know, can't see the names, but if you open your camera, that would be great.
Oh, there we are. Hi, Gayatri. You're back. You were here before. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, she's in
wonderful.
Austin.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
from Austin, part of our Austin group. So
And there's Dinah.
And then we have somebody there from Buda, Texas. I know that because I've been in touch with him. Do you all know Doug? Hi, Doug.
no, we do not know Doug.
Hi, Doug, online. We don't know you here in Dallas.
Buddha's not far from Austin. The Austin group meets typically
Yeah.
once a week on Sundays, and that's why many of them aren't here now. But they meet regularly, so I'm sure they would love if you ever want in person, Doug. That'd be a great alternative. But anyway,
Doug, I just want to send Doug a message without getting too in depth here. But Doug, my thoughts and prayers are with you. And without getting into detail, I just want us all to see Doug in light this week, especially in God and Guru.
we will do that.
We will do that.
Good.
So-
Doug's one of our students and coming through the course, but he's also a Kriyaban, his background. He's been a Kriyaban for many years, but he's renewing through us after many, many years.
Oh, wonderful.
Wonderful.
Okay, well, it's almost high noon here, and that means it's almost time for Sunday service to start in the village.
And it's time for us to go eat.
And it's time for us to have our satsang, so we will gather in the eating room and have snacks and things and visit with old friends who are here. So Premdas, we cannot thank you enough, not only for last minute, but just for everything you offered, so practical. I think
Good.
And lots of joy
the
too.
word, yeah, practical and joyful and
It's over my shoulder. I can't forget it. So-
you know what? Surround ourselves with reminders, right? Whether it's in your back pocket, on your wall, in your car, just keep reminding ourselves to find joy. God is within us at all moments. So.
Oh, my friends, what joy to be with you today. And thank you all. And for those of you I hadn't met yet, we meet today. Many blessings. And Premdas at ananda.org. If you have any questions you want to follow up with, by all means, that's what I do. So I'm looking forward to seeing you all in person at some point too. That'll be great.
Yeah, and we like to end with our traditional Texas goodbye, and then we'll do a om after that. But it's, if everybody's ready, maybe get a wide camera for a moment as we say, what?
We
No?
can do that.
Okay. Here we go, a little wider in our temple. And let's just
Aw.
get our hands good. Namaste, y'all. Oh. Thank you again.
What beautiful souls. Okay, take care all.